Hi, everyone. Well, everyone. I hope there's lots of people there to see my exciting guest for tonight. Oh, we've had a lot of hoo-ha because we always have to meet up half an hour beforehand because usually the guests can't work the tech. Oh, this time it was me. The microphone on my iPad's broken. So that's a drama. So anyway, today I'm doing it on my phone. So it's quite small, so I might keep peering at little messages because I won't be able to read them properly. So let me think what news I've got for you. Nothing. There's nothing going on. But still, anyway, still quite fun. Oh, hello, Jennifer Marsden. Oh, I don't think you're a regular. Can't say I've heard your name before. Oh, Jason Jenks. There's all these people I haven't seen before. I love new people. Oh, I know John Corrie. Hi. I actually know you in real life. Hi, Doug Patterson. Hi, Hizuru from Japan. Hi, Spiz Energy. Oh, I don't know you, but you sound good. Oh, lots of new people. Dinah Scarlett Wallace. Oh, I know Karen Duffin. I know her quite well. And Maureen from Guernsey, is it? Oh, hi, Spiz Energy. Who's new? Oh, good. I'm glad you're in tonight then, Jennifer. Right. So what can I tell you? Hi, Pauline Gibb. Hi, Louise Blakeway. Hi, Hilary Claire Dunham Phillips. You haven't been on for a while. Amanda Thompson, hi. Oh, I think my guest tonight has got lots of local people onto the thing, so that's brilliant. Hiya, Jane. Oh, Jane Davison, how are you? I haven't seen you for ages. All these people I miss. Hi, Mandy Mouse. Hi. Oh, Jersey, sorry. I get confused in my Channel Islands. They're all nice, though. Not that I've been... Hi, Billy Rummery. That's another nice... Oh, another first-time viewer. Oh, I think that... Liz has got marvellous people. Oh, Richard Bratton, your usual. He does lovely pictures. Hi, Carla from Byrne, Somerset. So if you're new and you haven't done it before, just explain about how it works. I used to run an art class in a pub. So it was nice and easy. We didn't really have chit-chat. It was just drawing someone and looking at the pictures. But then, of course, the virus came and we couldn't go into the pub. So we do it online now. And it started off just being art. And I thought, well, it's a bit boring because I can't see anyone's work because I can't see you, but I can talk to you like that. So we decided to have a different guest every week and chit-chat to them about their lives. So some of you might be scared about drawing, might have never been drawn before, but don't be scared. Just go for it. If you've got nothing ready, look around. You might find a pen, scrap of paper, back of an envelope, an old pencil, a lipstick, and try and do a lovely picture of this. Well, don't worry if it's not a lovely picture. Anything you draw is worthwhile and useful, and we'd love to see it. So this chat will go on for about an hour, just underneath. Then at the end, you can send your pictures in via Facebook Messenger to Isolation Station Hastings. And then Katie, who's doing all the stuff behind the scenes, she'll make up a little gallery tomorrow and put them on Facebook for everyone to look at and admire. Because, to be honest, loads of people who don't even do the art class go, oh, we really look forward to seeing your pictures on a Monday, on a Tuesday after the show. Well, it's very funny today because we're all very, very near to each other. Liz and Katie are both on Pevensey Road, really, and I'm just round the corner on Stockley Road. So we're probably like 3 minutes from each other's houses, although we haven't seen each other in real life for a very long time. So that's enough of my gabbling. It's been 4 minutes now I've wasted with general chit-chat. Oh, let me remind you, next week my guest is Julian Gagnon. You might not have heard of him, but he's a top fashion stylist and creative person. And he works with Fendi and he works with Paul Smith and all the big fashion people. So he'll have all the inside of the fashion world for you. He's quite funny as well. So that'll be good fun. And he's got a cute little face to draw. But anyway, so let me introduce you to Liz de Haviland, who she was married to Terry de Haviland, the shoe designer. Unfortunately, he died about a year ago, which was very sad. But she's got lots of interesting stories of herself as well. You know, she worked in music biz, in videos and things like that. So because I don't know her that well. I've only met her a couple of times. So I'm very keen to find out all her story as well. So with no further ado, here we go. Liz de Haviland.
Hi.
Hi, I hope you all admire the beautiful things in the background, the lovely shoes on the legs. So, and Liz's lovely jacket. Who was that made by again?
Oh, it's made by Arno, lovely Arno.
Because he lives near here. He lives here, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. He does. He used to do lots of supper clubs and things in London, and moved down here, and he's done a few of those. But he's also an artist. And a very
now,
good
Spiz Energy, they know you from college days.
Yes, I went to Art Foundation college with Spiz. I just got out of boarding school. And
this is where I like starting. What boarding school did you go to?
Haberdasher's Modern School for Girls.
Oh, because I always wanted to go to boarding school because I thought it was like Mallory Towers and I wanted a tuck box.
I mean, some of them might have been. Well, we had a tuck box, but you know, for what it was worth. I mean, some of them might have been. Ours, we had the worst headmistress. She was just appalling, and it was an absolute nightmare. And you just literally weren't allowed to do anything. You couldn't, you couldn't go out. They always used to gate me if I'd done something wrong because they knew that would really upset me.
Yeah.
So
were you a bit of a wild girl?
Not really. Well.
Oh, weren't you? Oh, I thought you would.
Well, I didn't really fit in because I was never a girly girl. I was kind of much more of a boy girl. And it was all that kind of like, oh, you'll never get a boyfriend looking like that. And ooh, short hair and, all that kind of stuff. So I was very sporty. I used to do lots of sport and art because art was fun and drama. And it was kind of escapism because you couldn't really do much in the evenings. But I learned to play the violin, all that kind of stuff.
When I came fancy.
I know, who knew? But when I came out of boarding school, I was petrified of boys. I mean, I literally used to cross the road rather than walk past boys on the street. So I didn't do that well in my A-levels and ended up at the local tech because I really, really wanted to do art. And Spiz was one of the first people I met there.
Yeah. And was there a pop group called Spiz Energy, or is that my?
That is Spiz, yeah.
Oh, I've heard of them. Yeah.
There you go. And it was just so kind of weird. It's like I didn't know boys were like this. I had no idea, how much fun they could be and how they, didn't hit on you all the time and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah, it was great. And we've only just reconnected on Facebook. Actually, I haven't seen each other for years.
Oh, how lovely!
So hi, Spiz.
Oh, that's lovely. And I saw Despo. So I haven't seen Despo for a while, so I'm so glad she's watching us because she's one of my regulars. She used to come to the pub, you say.
No, yeah, exactly. Well, Despo knows Marilla, and Marilla used to know Terry back in the day. Marilla was and Terry's mate from New York called Phil de Haviland as well.
Yeah.
So that was another weird connection down here when we moved down here. We didn't.
Don't you find everyone you meet here knows someone you know?
Always.
It's so
and
weird.
Also, they know someone that you knew before that's literally living, 10 minutes away from you or something.
I know.
It's that kind of a town, isn't it?
It's so weird.
I love
weird things that happen, but I like it as well.
No, it's a great place. Great place. Very glad I moved here.
Where did you grow up then?
Well, all over the place, basically. I was born in Newcastle upon Tyne, then we moved to Liverpool, then the Cotswolds, then Wales, which is one of the reasons I went to boarding school, actually, was to kind of get a more stable education, basically. And my parents have lived in Solihull, just outside Birmingham, for oh my god, it's got to be how old am I now? Yeah, it's nearly 50 years. So that's basically I was kind of basically in the Birmingham area.
Yeah.
But the weird thing about being at boarding school was when you came home, you didn't have any friends, so it was kind of odd.
Yeah.
But I stayed in Birmingham until around about the mid-'80s, and then I always knew I wanted to end up in London.
Yeah.
So,
as we all did.
As we all did. And it took a broken heart to take me to London, basically. It's like, right, there's nothing left for me in Birmingham.
Yeah.
I used to work for Central TV, and I thought, well, I'll be just stuck, as a production secretary for God knows how long. All right, I'm going to just, take off to London and see what happens.
Yes. So let me go back a bit. So you went to university in Exeter, did you?
Yeah, art college.
Yes, Hillary. Please start drawing. Claire, I mean. I always get confused with Hillary Claire's name.
Should I sit still?
But what people can do if they haven't done it before, you can take a screenshot. If you've got a phone and an iPad, you can take a screenshot and watch that while you're listening. I know all the tricks. Right, so we've gone to Exeter.
Yeah, Exeter College of Art and Design. I studied fine art, printmaking and drama there.
Well, that was busy.
Yeah, but I mean, the drama, I actually really wanted to do drama, but it was kind of like, it's never going to work. So yeah, that was fun. But I knew I was never going to make my money as as an artist. So I actually left there and came back to Solihull and took a secretarial course. How classic is that? You know, it's that absolute classic for girls of that age to do.
I don't think they even have them anymore, do they?
I don't know.
I know. People don't seem to learn shorthand anymore.
Well, I suppose you don't really need to these days.
I know. Because everyone can type, can't they?
Exactly. No, exactly. Absolutely. But it just seemed like a sensible. Actually, what happened was I got engaged to a guy who was an officer in the Royal Marines. Like, how did that happen? That was really, really bizarre.
It does sound weird.
No,
Jason
really,
says
really
stop moving.
God knows what was going on in my head at that point.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh no, you have to do something sensible, you know." If you're
like, can you just stop still? Can you keep still for a minute so they can grab a quick pic? They said.
Yeah,
a couple of seconds. Yeah. Do you know Lisa Chester-Linsky? Some name just popped up.
Who?
Came up. Just Katie, can you show us that name again? Was it Lisa Chester-Linsky? Is she a friend of yours?
Don't know, Lisa. I don't think so.
Oh no, well, good new person then. That's there's Susan Diamond, another local artist. Oh, so we're live in new people. Right. So you did your drama course.
I did my art and drama course. Yeah. I'm moving around.
You did your secretarial course.
Jason is my stepson, by the way.
Oh, is he? Oh, that's why he's being so bossy and telling you to stay.
Yeah, exactly. Stop moving around. It's one of those things. I move around all the time. So yeah, then I did my secretarial course. And while I was doing my secretarial course, one of the girls on my course was going out with a guy who was a stage manager at the BBC.
Yeah.
And she said there was this program called Look Here that Toy Wilcox used to present. It was just a local little magazine program with bands and stuff like that. And I got the gig doing that. It was so much fun.
How fantastic. How old were you at that time?
I must have been, how old was I? 1980. Yeah, I was 22.
Do you think you just died on heaven, got a TV presenting job just like that?
Well, that's how it happens, isn't it? It's not what you know, it's who you know. So that was good fun. That actually gave me the bug for television. So I realised that what I wanted to do was work in television or in the media.
Yeah.
So luckily, I got my secretarial experiences and work qualifications, and I ended up as the production secretary for the religious department.
Well, in Birmingham.
At Central TV.
Nice.
The religious
sounds
department.
nice.
How bizarre was that? Then I kind of moved up the ladder a little bit and worked in drama and stuff like that. And then I realised I would probably always be stuck as a secretary or a production assistant. I would never get to do what I really wanted to do. I actually wasn't really sure what it was, but it wasn't being a secretary all my life. So I moved to London.
Were you still engaged to the Royal Marine? Or
no, the Royal Marine. Right, okay, yeah, I forgot that one. The minute he heard I'd got the job presenting this programme, he went, "Oh, you're too much of a socialite. I don't want to know you anymore." And that was it, basically, you know, be gone, you know, because he just
very nice
little wife, you know, working as a secretary within the army or the Marines or what have you. So, yeah, that caused a bit of a problem. So yeah, no, he'd long gone.
Right, so you came to London.
Came to London, went to work for Ogilvy and Mather initially in the planning department, and then a friend of mine, Jamie Rose, heard of a job that was going at WEA as their in-house stylist.
Oh yeah.
And I got the job, and it was amazing. Actually, it was an incredible thing to do because in-house stylist didn't mean just like, you know, clothes and stuff like that. It was actually commissioning photographers, graphic designers, and then video directors. It was absolutely brilliant.
This sounds like the job I would like.
It was fantastic.
And what bands did you work with?
Oh my good. Everyone always asks me this, and it's all such a blur at this.
Yeah.
The weird thing is, the majority of the work I did was with a lot of bands who nobody ever heard of.
Yeah.
Like millions on like videos and stuff like that. I knew you were going to ask me this. I'm racking my brain.
Love pop music.
Sorry?
I love pop music, you say?
Well, yes, I love pop music, actually. But it was people, I suppose, WEA, goodness me, I wish someone was here to help me out. It was people like, I guess, Jesus and Mary Chain, Simply Red. It was all sorts of different people.
Yeah.
And people you would never heard of called Louise, like Louise Goffin. Like, who's Louise Goffin? Mm. So, that brain cell's gone. Yeah. The EMI ones I remember a bit more. Yeah. But I mean, it wasn't the major big US bands as such. I was more kind of like the small town, more developing bands and things like that. Big ones were always set up.
Well, it must have been so exciting, though.
It was amazing.
Environment and everything.
No, it was amazing. It really was, and you never really knew what was going to happen next. But the gigs, it was like I went to all the Prince gigs and I got into all the after parties, and that was like huge amounts of fun, and it wasn't really like working. Although I must admit it was hard work because video edits always go on right through the night. So I quite often not get home till like 2 or 3 in the morning.
There's a very quick turnaround, isn't there?
Yes, yeah. Yeah,
I know, because I've been in a few pop videos myself, and they do them all in one day. Then they're out the next week, aren't they?
That's right, exactly. So it's like offline edits, and then you have to get this checked, that checked, and the other checked, and then Nick Kamen. I remember working with Nick Kamen. He was
him in his Levi's.
That's right, and it was a brilliant director called Jean-Baptiste Mondino. He was fabulous. He was really good.
Did he used to do things with Grace Jones?
Sorry.
Did he used to do things with Grace Jones?
I'm not sure. He probably...
Yeah.
Not sure.
Yeah,
I mean, if you saw Mondino's work, you'd know he did loads of stuff with Madonna.
Yeah.
And, you would know his work if you saw it. Beautiful, beautiful work. And I remember him turning around to me one day in the edit and saying, you got to get out of this job because you're just running backwards and forwards and they're not listening to what you're saying. So I was like, maybe. And anyway, I got headhunted by EMI, so I moved from WEA to EMI just to do the videos.
Yeah.
And that was good. That was
His videos were huge at that time, weren't they?
Absolutely massive. I mean, ridiculous amounts of money. What I found when you are the video commissioner is quite often the bands would come to you because they wanted to talk about the creative side of stuff. So you became like almost an agony aunt.
Yeah.
They had to like offload, and they're not listening. I'd go on to video sets sometimes that you're like, okay, turn over, and the track would play, and the bands would go, I haven't even heard this mix. What's this mix? What's going on?
Yeah.
Really, it was quite bizarre.
Yeah.
But EMI was really good fun for a while until I started to realise that I think I was kind of a token female.
Yeah.
It's just like they had to employ certain amount of female. It was very much a all boys together type of place, which was a bit odd. But I eventually walked out when I got told to shut up and put my lipstick back on in the marketing meeting. I thought, I don't think I'm going to last one on this one. It's like but. Still the most amazing, the most amazing experiences.
I bet. Did you ever go to sleep?
Well, yeah, kind of. But you didn't, when you're young, you don't think about that anyway, do you?
I know. I used to go out 3 or 4 nights a week till about 3 or 4 in the morning, then get up at 7 to go to work.
No, exactly.
Now I can't do that.
No, exactly.
If I go out late, I have to stay in bed for a couple of days.
Well, that was all part of it, wasn't it? And I mean, in the 80s, it was all about the power lunch and stuff like that. So you'd be like out on the piss having lunch because, if you're working in the music business, they're all trying to get, work off you. So you were always getting dragged out dragged out to lunch. So it was always like lunch, and then it was like into the edit suite at 6 and out of the edit suite at like 2, and completely bonkers. But I did meet some, I mean, amazing people. I think my favourite one was Mark Hollis from Talk Talk. I ended up in an edit suite with Mark Hollis, and Tim Pope was doing the video, and it was for a track called I Believe in You, and the most beautiful track. And Mark was kind of like, oh, I think I've had enough. And I was like, yeah, I think I've had enough. And he's like, oh, I don't like the way the music business is going. And we just sat and like talked wonderful stuff. Talk. Yeah, literally. Talk.
Is he the one who's got quite a round face and a pointy nose?
He's a strange looking character, actually.
Yeah, I think I know this, yeah.
He's no longer with us, bless him.
Oh.
He went off to pastures new. But he was a real special.
Yeah.
And then who else was great? Oh, God, the one night I remember sitting in my office watching an offline edit, and the door flew open and David Byrne walked in.
Oh.
And who was my absolute hero. So like all of a sudden I got David Byrne literally stood in my office, which used to be an edit suite. So I think that's the only reason he would be there.
Yeah.
And of course I did the absolute classic thing when you meet a hero and just go, oh, I think you're really fabulous. And it was just like, why did I say that?
And what did he say?
He just went, okay, why isn't this an edit suite? And I was just like, oh, where do you want to go? No. And anyway, off he went.
Yeah.
Most embarrassing thing I've ever done. Yeah, Mark Hollis, God, he was wonderful, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And then the other, actually, my all-time favourite was Chris Isaac.
Oh, he's a looker, isn't he?
Oh, he's such a looker. And he was over in London for a few days, and we were doing a video with the director, Mark Le Bon.
I know him.
Yeah, right, there you go.
Yeah, look, everyone knows someone.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Love Mark Le Bon. And it was one of those videos that had to be turned around really quickly because he was only in London for a small amount of time and stuff like that. Anyway, he said, oh, will you take me out for dinner? And I was like, yeah, no problem. We'll go out for dinner. And he said, I want to go somewhere like really English.
Yeah.
So I took him to the Upper Street Fish Bar.
Nice.
In Islington. And I got there and I thought, what have I done? I've taken you literally to fish and chip shop. But he loved it so much. He got talking to Olga, who was the manager, and they had Brancusi. She loved Brancusi and he loved Brancusi. So they had this like sculptural discussion right in the middle of it.
Nice. And were people ogling him?
Sorry?
And were people ogling him?
Well, I certainly was. I mean, you can't, those baby blues right across from you was quite something there. He was stupidly handsome.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got
Amy Redmond. Just saying, Amy Redmond.
Amy. Hi, Amy. Hi, Greg.
I don't know Greg. Rita
Jones. Greg at WEA. Rita and I used to share a flat together many moons ago.
Oh, yeah.
And also in Islington. Not Islington, in Richmond. So, yeah. Very old friend of mine.
Oh, I'm glad all your friends have come to see you. It's lovely.
I know. Well, they don't get to see me normally, you see.
I know, especially now.
Oh, talk to me about it.
So EMI. Then what happens after EMI?
EMI went to work with Godley and Cream.
Oh, amazing. All the best.
Yeah, they were fab. That was a project called Videola, which was all about making a product that was music and visuals that could not be kind of disconnected from each other. So some of them, you actually had musicians in camera who were basically playing instruments, and then they'd cut the track together in the edit. Yeah. Others were where you got a director and a musician who worked totally closely together. So they produced, this audio-visual stuff.
Yeah.
But it was basically ahead of its time because they were only released on videotape.
Yeah.
So it was a project that was well ahead of its time. But Media Lab were brilliant. They were a really good company to work with. They were completely bonkers.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I was working the job centre all this time. I mean, I was working
best.
I was working the nightclubs at night time, but your job sounds like what I would have loved.
I know, it was great. I remember we came one day. We came into the office. We just had those big water coolers.
Oh yeah.
The water kind of And we'd gone away. We'd had one delivered on Friday.
How glamorous was it when they came in?
Oh, it's terribly posh. And, Kevin and Lowell were really excited that, oh yeah, aren't we posh? Got back in on the Monday and they converted it into a bong.
That must have been fun.
We're like, all right, thanks for that one, boys. But yeah, they were completely crazy. Yeah. Anyway, that project kind of came to an end. It didn't work because it was released on video and it was all ahead of its time.
Yeah.
And then I went to work with this company called Logic Blend, and that was creatives and scientists working together. And we were working on all sorts of new technology called interactive technology.
Yeah.
And basically what we were working on is what we now call smartphones. But this was many, this was not like 1988 or something.
Yeah.
And I used to go back into the record companies and say, oh, there's all this new technology coming out. And they just looked at me as if I was completely, don't know what you're taking, love, but,
I remember when the first mobile phones come up, you go, oh, they'll never catch on. No one wants one of them.
And texting, you remember texting? Oh, texting will never work. And, of course, it became bigger than anything.
I know.
So, yeah, that was quite an interesting period of my life.
Yeah.
But there was a guy I worked with at Logic Blend who knew Terry.
Yeah.
Now, I remember Terry from when I was a punk, when I used to go along the King's Road.
Yeah.
And his shop was amazing. I mean, it was just the most ridiculous.
Would you just like to share the name of the shop again?
Go on, it was Cobblers to the World.
Hilarious.
Absolutely. Well, that was just so him. He never took, he never took himself seriously. He'd take work seriously, but he never took himself seriously at all. And it was amazing. It was just like a vision of kind of like peach mirror glass and a tinted ceiling and chandeliers and the most outrageous shoes you've ever seen. And strangely enough, a lot of the punks used to go and hang out in his basement. So you get like Jordan from Sex used to go and hang out in the basement with him. Viv Westwood used all his shoes in all her early shoots, magazines and things like that. And he was that kind of character that could, he was just, he just got on with everybody, basically.
They're such beautiful shoes and they're kind of timeless, aren't they?
Yeah, totally. Because they're so crazy, they don't date. You get those, sometimes you get things like that that are just so ridiculously over the top that they don't, because he never followed fashion.
Yeah.
He always kind of did his own thing. So it's difficult for something to go out of fashion if it's not actually in fashion. You can see what I mean.
So how did you actually meet him the first time then?
Well, it was a friend of mine I was working with Logic Blend, called Garth Beattie, and he said, oh, you should meet my friend Terry de Haviland, because I was also met this whole bunch of guys who were working on holographic fabrics, a company called Space Time.
Yeah.
He said, yeah, we'll take you around there because Terry's going to love these fabrics and, maybe you'll be able to do something with them and so on and so forth. So we'd arranged to meet at Terry's house. Now, as far as I was concerned, Terry had just, he had disappeared he just disappeared, basically.
Yeah.
I didn't know that his company had gone skint at the end of the 70s. But I was quite fascinated to meet him because I remembered the shop and I remembered the shoes and so on and so forth. And, these holographic fabrics were perfect for them. But I expected him to be some kind of like mustachioed, a little bit bitter and twisted old queen who like lost his way, this, that and the other. So I was the first one to arrive on that night and I rang the doorbell and waited. And then this great big burly East End geezer opened the door and I'm like, who the hell's this? And he was like, who are you? And I was like, I'm Liz, who are you? And he went, I'm Terry, of course. Who do you think I was? And I was just like, really didn't expect that at all.
Yeah.
And there was a bit of a flash, one of those like, oh, moments.
Yeah.
He looked at my feet and he went, you're a size 5, aren't you, girl? And I was like, yeah. He said, oh, you're lucky, girl. You're sample size. Don't think you'll be going anywhere far. And that was it, basically.
That was the chat-up line. You're a sample size.
You're a sample size.
Oh, someone's saying keep still again, Pippa. Oh, here we are.
Strap me in, shouldn't they? I need a dentist chair or something. Right, okay, I'll try and keep still.
Did Terry ever do shoes for Angie and David Bowie?
Yeah, cool. Well, mainly Angie. He actually had an affair with Angie as well.
Oh, tell us the stories, yeah.
Oh, I can't tell you the stories about that. That's not my story to tell. They're cheeky, those ones. He did shoes for David Bowie right in the earlies when I can't remember when that, yeah, it was quite early on, but he never did any of his stage stuff.
No.
He mainly did his kind of normal day work and occasional shoot stuff. He did a lot for Angie. I think Terry's most famous, well-known shoes are the ones that Tim Curry wore in the Rocky Horror Show.
Oh yeah.
Everyone knows that, you know, when he comes down in the lift.
Yeah.
I've
never seen the Rocky Horror Show. Sorry.
You heard?
I must be the only person. I've never seen the Rocky Horror Show.
Have you not?
Oh,
it's such fun.
Yeah.
It's really, it really is. It's really good fun. So yeah, I mean, he did loads. I mean, he made a pair of knee-high python platform boots for Rudolf Nureyev.
Yeah. Did he wear his shoes himself?
Yeah, he did. He used to wear them until they wore out. So he always had holes in his shoes before he'd make any new ones. Always wore his own shoes. Yeah.
Yeah, but sort of like the big glamorous platforms or just regular shoes?
Well, he used to wear the Cuban heel boots.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, really, really excellent, you know, really unusual ones.
Yeah.
Lots of patchwork and like flames on them and stuff. And he used to wear the single platform boots. He never wore the double platform boots.
Oh, yeah.
He
was quite cool, wasn't he? Was he?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, I've been told I must watch the Rocky Horror.
You must watch it. It's fabulous. It really is. I can't believe you haven't seen it.
Something in my head I've got against it. Because once this woman from Australia, who was some professor, she sent me this long essay she was doing, and she wanted to know about Lee's opinion on the Rocky Horror Show.
Yeah.
And she kind of got on my nerves. So I just made up this long story and told her he really, really hated it and completely ruined all her investigations. I don't know why.
It's funny that though, isn't it? When someone tells you should watch something.
I know. I don't watch it on purpose. It's mental, I know.
I was like that with Schitt's Creek. I would not.
Now you've watched it. Do you love it?
And it was only you when you put something up, and I was just like, okay, I've got to give it a go. I really have got to give it a go. Oh my God. And it's my go-to thing now. If I'm feeling depressed, I'm just like, I'm going to go and watch a couple of episodes of Schitt's Creek.
I know. It'd cheer anyone up, wouldn't it?
Oh, I want them to adopt me. They're so wonderful.
I know. It's so mental, but it just seems so normal. But like when she goes and hides in the wardrobe for about a couple of weeks, it's just like,
who doesn't want to do that?
I know. Yeah, so we've got the Rocky Horror Show, and then, but how long did it take you to really fall in love?
Well, we were kind of off and on for a couple of years because both of us had emotional baggage. You know, you do, don't you? And I mean, he was. His problem was the 20-year age difference. You know, he's I think I'm a dirty old man. And I'm like, no, I'm in my 30s. I'm a woman. You know, I can. You know, it's an insult for you to say that. So it took us a couple of years of kind of like, you know, running away from each other, then getting back to them. But after the 2 years, we were just like, you know, it's really silly. Whenever we split up, we're really miserable. So what are we doing? This is kind of stupid. So I actually moved in with him in 1992.
Yeah.
And that's when we started seriously working together.
Yeah. And
that was so much fun because he, you know, at that time we had a company called Magic Shoes and we had our own factory. So it meant we could literally make things at our whim.
Yeah. Where was your factory?
It was on the Mile End Road, East London.
Nice and local, yeah.
Nice and local. We were in Islington. It was Mile End Road, which was as rough as then, you know. But it was brilliant. It was just such a great thing to have a factory. And, you know, I think he probably paid the workers more than he paid himself. He really looked after his workers.
Oh, that's what often happens in fashion, though, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know, it was like the kind of stuff, and that was weird when I met him because he wasn't doing fashion anymore. He was doing street stuff. So he had when Terry de Haviland went skint at the end of the 80s, he set up at the end of the 70s. He set up a company called Kamikaze Shoes, and that was all goth and punk and points and skull buckles and, you know, this
sort of thing you might buy at Camden Market.
Oh yeah, no, he sold loads of Camden Market. It's really weird. There's a lot of people out there who had no idea they were buying Terry de Haviland shoes in the 80s when they were. And he was like, I think they were making like 800 pairs a day or something at that point.
Yeah.
So when I met him, Kamikaze had just gone down, and he'd set up Magic Shoes. And he took me down to the showroom, and it was just like, this doesn't look anything like Terry de Haviland, because it was all the points and the gothy stuff and like stiletto thigh booties, and it was just like, what the hell happened here? Anyway, around about 92, he was like, right, that's it, we're going to bring the platforms back.
Yeah.
So in 92, we started working on platforms, and we discovered, or the fetish market had discovered us, basically. So we were making all these kind of mad thigh boots, and then one of the shopkeepers kept buying big sizes, and Terry was like, why are you buying the big sizes? And he's like, because the men are wearing them. So he's like, right, okay, this is it. I mean, everyone's heard of kinky boots, but I think Terry actually did that a long time before the main guy did. So then we ended up meeting just the most fabulous, we met all the drag queens, we met all the kind of like crazy designers who were on the fetish scene and stuff like this, which actually set Terry off creatively, because visually he found that much more interesting than what was going on in fashion in the early 90s, which was all quite low and a bit Doc Marteny and stuff like that. But he, working with the designers from that scene, we actually worked with people like Val de Lauder and Dane, and they were doing amazing stuff using like glitter and fluoro colors and light reflective. It was taking it away from the classic fetish image and into something much more, I don't know, almost like cyber fetish, I suppose. And we had a huge amount of fun doing that. We used to pack the bags, go to the clubs, and do the catwalk shows. Never got that involved in the actual scene as such, but just loved. The clubs were just so much fun at that point.
Yeah.
They were an absolute giggle.
And was he making much money at this time?
I don't think we've ever made a lot of money.
A terrible world of fashion.
No, exactly. It was always kind of like, plow it back into the company and stuff. We always made enough to get by on, but we never made. And also, Terry always left someone else to look after the business, and 9 times out, every time actually, he ended up getting fucked over.
No! But that's what lots in the 80s. Lots of my friends were fashion designers, and they were just like a constant world of never having any money and having to. They get a backer, and then the backer would rip them off.
No, exactly. Absolutely. And, it happens all the time. And, it doesn't matter. People who look in magazines go, oh, my goodness, your shoes are like hundreds of pounds. And it's like, yeah, but I can't afford them myself. You don't understand what's going on in the background here. So, no, we never made huge amounts of money on it. But we always made enough money to look after ourselves and look after our friends. And
having a good time.
And that was absolutely always his work. That was always his ethos. Was just like, and I think that's why we hit it off so well. Is that we actually did discover soulmates in each other.
Yeah. Aww.
He was like, it was brilliant. It was really good. I do miss him. Bless him. It was such fun, Magic Shoes. It really was. But then we lost that business. Because our business partner had decided he wanted to put it into liquidation. So we were kind of left high and dry.
Yeah.
But we ended up with a shop in the Stables Market in Camden, and that was an absolute that was really, really, really funny. It was just, and that's when he invented the Transmuter Boot, and he was just like, oh, no, I'm not going to give up. No, I'm going to keep going.
What was the Transmuter Boot?
It's that one with all the big spikes on it, but we called it a transmuter because it had panels on those big built-up soles that you could unscrew and change with other ones. So we had spiked rubber ones, we had mirrored ones, we had glitter ones, we had animal print. The whole thing was you could transmute the boot from one thing into another.
Very clever.
And Marilyn Manson. We had Marilyn Manson in the shop.
Can't mention that name anymore.
No, we can't actually. The devil.
Yeah. Well, he had the boots, did he?
Yeah, he came in to pick his boots up, and we'd had a really quiet day in the shop. And he came in, and the whole kind of like, there was a French girl in there who basically had the vapors. And
I can imagine.
painted on the sofa and all this
That's
kind of
it.
stuff.
I like the fact Camden Market always full of foreign goths.
Always. They used to come there straight from the Slimelight.
I know, because most
into our shop.
people from London, my friends, that wouldn't really go to Camden Market. They turn their nose up a bit. But all foreign people loved it, didn't they? It was like
totally, because it was us, and there was like Cyberdog. That was brilliant. It was really,
that's the most hilarious shop in the world.
Brilliant time to be there. Yeah, it was great. It was a really good time to be there. But anyway, Marilyn Manson had come in. We'd had a really bad day. We were taking no money. He came in about 3:30. We came to cash up at 5:30 that evening, and the till roll came through, and it was 666 and 50p. So it was the mark of the beast and 50p at the end.
And you didn't know what a devil he was then.
Oh no,
not so much.
Well, you kind of know. But yeah, that was great. We did the boots for the Fetish Morris dancers. They came into the shop.
Fetish Morris dancers.
Fetish Morris dancers.
I can imagine them at Jack on the Green.
They were brilliant. They could either have the flat Commando sole ones, or they could have the stiletto ones, or they could have the block heel platform ones, depending on which they wanted. We had the Hasidic rabbis in. They were amazing. Came in from New York, who said their doms had sent them over to buy them if they didn't go back to New York with their rubber stiletto thigh boots, they'd be in trouble. And we were like, Hasidic rabbi. And then it wasn't until later we realised that, of course, they actually had a fetish for being Hasidic rather than being real Hasidic rabbis.
Oh, they just wanted
their fetish was dressing up.
I know that feeling though, because when I used to drive through Stamford Hill, I used to think I love that look. It's a good look.
Never knew what was going to happen. We never knew what was going to happen in that shop.
Oh, it must have been great.
So funny. Japanese tourists, busloads of Japanese tourists used to come in. People used to come in and sit on the seats and eat their lunch, and we'd be like, no, go. You're not allowed in here. This isn't just somewhere to sit and eat your lunch. Yeah. But no, it was brilliant. And then what happened was all these stylists started to come in because we put a small display of Terry's shoes up.
Yeah.
And we had all these stylists coming in and looking at stuff, and that's how we ended up doing the boots for the Tomb Raider movies. Thank God that came along. We were so skint at that point because the costume designer came into the shop, and that was good. And then Terry had a heart attack, and we decided that was it. We'd have to close because they started being silly with the rents there anyway.
Yeah.
So we started.
Oh, it wasn't burning down. Did it burn down when you were there, or was it afterwards?
No, that was after us. It
used to burn down practically every week.
I wonder why. What could that possibly have been?
Wonder.
So yeah, from there, and then he decided to do Liz de Haviland again.
Yeah.
So we had to go. We used to do these parties, cocktails and heels. We'd just hire a room somewhere and have cocktails.
I want to come.
And we'd have little samples of things people could try on. They could either buy direct, or we'd make stuff up for them. Yeah. And we always had a couple of drag queens there to teach the ladies how to walk in the heels if they didn't know. It was such fun. It was.
Someone's just here written Angelina Jolie. Did she buy some?
No, that was mainly just the Tomb Raiders. We didn't get to meet her, unfortunately.
Oh right.
He really wanted to meet her, but no, we just made boots. We just made loads of boots. It's amazing how many pairs you have to make for a film, actually. It's like, for continuity purposes and stuff. So, yeah, we did both of the Tomb Raider movies. That was good.
I like the fact about being self-employed. You think you've got nothing going on, then suddenly get a really fabulous job.
Always when you're
desperate and suddenly, woo!
Just when you, literally, you're down to your last penny, something always comes in. It's so weird.
I know. That's how I just live my life. And I
like not having nerves, but
yeah, I never chase jobs or anything. I just wait for them to come my way, and they always seem to. Not vast fortunes, but enough to keep me going for a few weeks.
Well, no, exactly. And what more do you need? You just
exactly. I don't need tons of money. I don't want tons of money.
No, not me. Well, I wouldn't say no, but I probably end up giving most of it away. But what do you need? I mean, I'm not addicted to buying clothes or anything like that. All my stuff's kind of vintage or Chazza shop, or I've had stuff forever. Shoes I never had to buy anyway, not after I'd met the man.
Of course you wouldn't. I know.
I'd be murdered if I had.
Miss
Whiplash, that's my sister.
Oh, is it?
Miss Whiplash.
She's calling you Miss Whiplash. Where's your sister live?
I have no idea why. She's just being precocious. She always was.
Where does your sister live?
She lives in Birmingham still, not far from my parents.
Oh, yeah. So how old are your parents?
93 and 94.
Oh, my goodness. Have they had their vaccinations?
They've had their first vaccinations, yeah. I mean, they're amazing. They just keep going. My dad's ridiculous. He's like, still paints the outside of the house, and Mum's just got gardens non-stop. They're absolutely incredible. But that's that age, isn't it?
Yeah.
That generation were pretty something. They really went through it, and
they worked hard, didn't they?
Worked hard and
just gone with it.
Totally. If the shit hit the fan, you just carried on, basically.
Exactly.
So they're amazing. They're quite something. It's not much fun. I can't get to see them as much at the moment. Well,
but so what are you down to St Leonard's then?
Well, that's when we lost the Liz de Haviland label
again.
Yeah, but it was a really bad one. It was like we really thought we were protected by our contract, and not just the contract, all the lead up to the contract, and all the kind of like letters of whatever, this, that, and the other, and all this stuff, But they pulled a fast one on us, unfortunately. We thought it was like, the investor director stopped putting money into it.
Yeah.
And they put it into liquidation, and the liquidator ruled that the only asset it had was the actual name. And we're like, we've got a contract saying that, if you stop paying the money, the name comes back to us. And the liquidator said, well, it's nothing to do with me.
That's so weird, isn't it? You can't keep your own name.
So, they knew what they were doing. They were really smart business boys. And, classic us being naive creatives, especially as one of them was kind of like, family. Yeah. We protected it for so long, and they pulled an absolute blinder on us. So we lost the name, which meant that they didn't pay us for about 6 months before they put us into liquidation. So they knew we were pretty skinned before they put it into liquidation, which meant that we were going to have real problems trying to fight it legally.
Yeah.
So we had no option other than to sell the Islington gaff and move out of London, just so that we could secure our financial stability, our financial future. So we sold up Islington and moved down to St Leonard's. The reason, I don't know why, it was either going to be Margate or here. We didn't get a feel for Margate when we visited it. We found this apartment online and fell in love with it immediately. And a couple of friends now, Tiff McGuinness was down here. We helped her move down here, and it just felt right. We knew there were a couple of people down here we knew, and Terry didn't want to go and live in a village in the countryside somewhere. He always, he was London born and bred. He would never have moved out of London, apart from having to. It just felt right. And then we found this incredible apartment.
Amazing.
Which is, part of it. It was always meant to be a party apartment.
Yeah.
So down here we came, but he never really got over losing his name.
Aww.
He kind of went into a big decline because we, no matter how we tried to work out if legally we could get it back, but we were told that, we had a 50% chance of it, but, it could cost us everything. And did we really want to? So we were like, no, we'll walk away from that one. We don't really want to do it. And then every time he did try to do something, we would get emails saying, if you dare to produce something that looks like this, we will sue you for producing counterfeit goods. Counterfeit goods.
That's so bizarre. Because Nicole Farai.
Yeah.
Because the same happened to her. Like,
it's amazing, isn't it?
You think she'd have such a huge business and everything, but that was taken from her, and she can't even bear to go past the shops now, seeing her name up there. Nothing to do with her.
No, this is what it was like. Yeah, this is what it's like for us. I can't, we lost literally everything. So nobody even knew how to get hold of us. If there were because he could have collaborated with all sorts of people, not used
Yeah.
his brand name, but because of course we lost it by this time, everything had gone, you know, the social media routes. Nobody knew how to get hold of us unless they somehow had our phone number. So, you know, God knows how many people might have tried to get a hold of him in the past few years and not be able to, because the website, we didn't own the website, we didn't own any of the social media accounts. It was
Terrible.
basically his whole identity disappeared.
Awful.
And, you know, I wouldn't mind, but a lot of the stuff even now, not that I look at it much, but a lot of the stuff even now on that website is his classic designs. So, you know, it just became very apparent what all they wanted actually was the trademark, and the name, not the man himself. I know. And he never got over it because he really did. He
I can imagine it'd be awful.
He lived for his work. You know, he used to carry like half-made shoes in blue plastic bags everywhere he went and what have you. So, yeah, it's like an artist being told.
I know you don't exist.
Yeah, or a singer.
Sorry to interrupt. We've only got about 9 minutes left. So I want to know if anyone's got any questions they need to ask. But I'll ask.
Apart from sit still.
Yeah. Was he ill for a long time, or did he just sort of die quick? Or?
He was quite poorly anyway. He'd had 2 heart attacks and heart bypass, and he'd got COPD. So, you know, his health wasn't good. But I think more than anything, it was the depression that got to him. He just got so goddamn depressed that he couldn't, you know, get up and work. You know, that's what he used to get up for in the morning, was to work. Yeah. So, you know, the depression kind of like hit in, and then he had a couple of very nasty falls, and it transpires that one of them was probably because he'd had a stroke.
Oh no!
And then I think it was the April the 9th. I remember it was the early hours, the morning after my birthday, which was the last time we went out for a meal. He had a very nasty fall, and it took over 8 hours for the ambulance to get into the hospital. And then he contracted pneumonia in hospital. And then from the April through to November, he was constantly in and out of hospital. Yeah. And by this time they realised he'd had the stroke, and he developed vascular dementia as well, which was the most horrendous thing. And a lot of that is to do with the depression and, you know, not wanting to get up, not wanting to get out. And there was nothing I could do to kind of get him going. I couldn't set him up making shoes again and try and fight this idiocy that was going on or anything like that. It was a terribly sad ending, but, you know, in a way it was only 6 months. It could have gone on for years. And when he went, he was definitely ready to. He literally had enough.
Yeah. And I was surprised. I told you earlier, because he was 81 when he died, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And in my mind, I thought he was about 65 or something. He
always looked it. Always was
young and perky, and you know.
No, exactly, absolutely. I mean, you know, if he'd been working, he might have gone on for years more. I don't know. We'll never know. But it was definitely something that kept him going. But yeah, it's.
But you seem like you've been really, really brave through all of this.
Well, I think you have to. I mean, I was his carer for the last 6 months of his life, and that was incredibly difficult because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And it had got to the problem with vascular dementia. It happens all the time. Is that they think you're poisoning them? So he thought I was poisoning his meds. He thought I was poisoning him. Oh, no. Everything I was cooking for him, he thought I was poisoning him. It was very, very odd. He didn't really know me at the end. And he'd come back fleetingly for 3 minutes. I'd be making a cup of tea, and I'd turn around and he'd be gone again. Oh. It was.
You've got lots of very good friends around here. You always look after you and everything.
Amazing. And,
before I even knew you, people say, "Oh, we're going to do this for Liz and do that for Liz." And
yeah, exactly. And I went out and socialised without Terry quite a lot down here, which has kind of helped me because it's not like I was known as a couple. They were people always just being me. So, and they've been absolutely incredible. I mean, his funeral was amazing. Everyone came together so beautifully for his funeral. It was, which we had in a bar. It wasn't really a funeral at all. It was crazy. So I've definitely landed in the place I was meant to be. I love it.
So you got any future plans or anything?
Well, not work-wise, really. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. I do know I am going to do the apartment up, because our dream was always to have a party apartment, and it's perfect for that. So, you know, watch this space. This place is going to get the makeover it deserves, and it's going to start living, basically.
Someone just said here there was a story you had to tell, but I didn't catch it.
Oh,
Katie,
God, what's that?
Katie, can you tell us the story about the fireman?
Oh, in Islington, yes. We used to live across the road from the fire station in Islington on Upper Street.
Yeah.
And we used to have lots of parties, and a lot of our drag queen friends used to come. And in the dining room, we had these swish curtains, open close ones, right opposite the accommodation area where the firemen were. So they decided that they'd do a tableau. So there was one, you know, we had like a full transop in one window, and one who was halfway there, who'd had the top surgery but not the rest. And they decided they were going to do this tableau striptease for the firemen. So it was kind of close the curtains, open them, and they were taking layers and layers off.
And what did the firemen think?
Well, the firemen all just thought, who are these beautiful women? Because, you know, they just look like these amazing, stacked, stunning, incredible, like tall, leggy women. So they were all lined up. So, of course, the last one came, and, you know, it was all full on, blah, 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 you know, full frontal, apart from the one who was turned sideways and was a little bit excited, at which point you find were like, oh, my God, we had no idea. Yeah. Anyway, one New Year's Eve, Terry and I, we just lost, I think it was magic shoes. We were sat at home. We usually had New Year's Eve parties around there. We just, a pair of us sat there. Came to midnight, and we could hear all this banging and noise. So we've opened the dining room curtains, looked out, and there's Blue Watch, and they mooned us. They got us back. We didn't do that. Yeah. So we looked out, and there they were, all these little moons. Right.
Everyone loves a fireman, don't they?
Oh, I love a fireman.
Game for a laugh.
They certainly are.
Oh, no. Oh, you're a sensational woman. That's what lovely Jane said.
Well, she's a lovely girl. I met Jane because at Posh Club, and Jane was actually friends with my stepson Cesar. She came up and said, do you know someone called Cesar de Haviland? I'm like, yeah, I'm his stepmom. So that's how we met. And we've just become such good friends, the whole family, you know.
I know, I only met her at my art club, and she's so lovely. Oh, there's your next door neighbour, Natalie Frost.
Hi, Natalie. Yeah, we're waving at each other. I'm always in the kitchen window.
I know, because I've been to her flat, but I've never been to you. I think I'm the only person who's been to her flat since she moved here.
Well, no, because of course, you know,
COVID just before, yeah.
No, exactly. Oh, you can come round to mine as well. We'll have a garden party.
Oh, right, yeah, go around everyone's. Oh, how much do I love going around people's houses? I miss it so much.
Well, with any luck, we're not too far away from that.
I know.
Because I'm a bit
of a favourite thing. Pardon?
I'm a bit of a homebird. I really love socialising at home.
Oh yeah, I do as well.
No, I love going out for a dance and stuff like that. But I just think there's nothing nicer than, you know, food around the table.
Guess what? As well, if it's your house, you're at home already. You don't have to get a cab.
It's glorious, isn't it? Definitely.
To be honest, I've had parties at my house. I've gone to bed and left people up because I was past it. It was about 4, but I've crept off to bed. Let yourselves out.
Yeah, exactly. Don't mind me. Terry used to do that all the time. He used to call it a DE, his discreet exit.
Yeah.
And we'll be sitting like, where's he gone? It's just always just done a DE, a discreet exit.
Kirsten Smith, she wants to come to any parties. But I love it here as well because everyone's house is nice. In London, I mean, all my friends who never had much money, we all lived in really tiny little flats. Because we all had tiny flats, we didn't really think anything of it. So when I moved here,
no, we were so lucky. Islington, it was a 17th century crazy building. It was on 3 floors, yeah. And it was like a TARDIS. You were tiny door. You walked in, and it just opened out. And I mean, our Christmas days. We used to do waifs and strayed Christmas days, and it would be like, you know, everyone would get a pair of boots for Christmas, and just crazy stuff.
Oh, I bet they were thrilled to get an invitation then, hoping they'd get a pair of shoes.
It was very posed in a funny kind of way. We just used to look after all the little disaffected, you know, we get all bellad ring at 3 a.m. Someone lost their keys and couldn't get home from a club. It'd be like, oh, in you come then. Not a problem. It was a brilliant house. It was really, it was great fun.
It sounds
Such
lovely.
good days.
Oh, Jason Jenks missing you, he says.
Yeah, I know, Jason and the kids. I know it's not easy, but we'll all be back together again at some point.
One day.
Down by the sea. We've got to go swimming in the sea, Sue.
I know.
I love a splush in the sea, don't you?
Yeah, but I'm not doing it in the winter though.
No. I take my hat off to them, but
yes, well done. Yeah, so do I.
It's just, my poor old heart wouldn't take it. I know.
I'll probably die. Katie, have we got any pictures coming yet, by any chance?
No, because I've been moving around too much. They're all just like that.
It'll be fine. We always get some nice ones. Katie, have any appeared? Oh, see, that's gorgeous.
There we go.
I don't even recognise who did that. Is it maybe Louise Blakeway? Am I guessing?
It's Anthony Duckles.
Oh, Anthony Duckles. Oh, it's lovely. Anthony Duckles from Bexhill. That's gorgeous.
Fab.
Who's that?
David Sands.
Oh, David Sands has been listening to me because I told him off for using 2 light colours. Well done, David. That's marvellous. Oh, that's brilliant.
That's fab.
Who did that?
John Corey.
Oh, John, that's unusual to you. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. Karen Duffin.
Mm-hmm.
Karen Duffin. Lovely.
This is such fun. I love it.
Vanessa Crawford.
Yep.
How good am I? Oh,
these are great.
That's Jennifer Marsden.
Oh, it's lovely. I love your face in that one.
There's another couple coming in. Give me a second. I'll put them up.
Okay. My favourite game is Guess Who Did Them. But Jennifer Marsden, she's new, so that's why I couldn't guess, but it's lovely. Sitting waiting with anticipation. Where are they? Oh. But some of the pictures people have done have been in exhibitions and that, so. Oh,
Fab.
Who's that?
That is Amanda Thompson.
Oh, lovely. I haven't seen her work before. It's lovely. Who's that?
Despo.
Oh, Despo. I should have guessed that now. And the floating shoes. Well done, Despo. Oh, they're really good. People really paid attention to the shoes, haven't they?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Despo. Hopefully see you soon.
Missing you too, bro.
Oh, is your sister and brother watching?
Yeah, my brother is as well. He discovered art late in life. He was an accountant for many years, and he's got such a brilliant affinity for drawing.
Yeah,
he did it,
Yeah, because some people when I did in the pub didn't know they could draw, and they suddenly discovered it. Susan, save it, and you can send it in later. It's fine. So Susan Diamond, I'm thrilled to see your picture. You send them on Facebook Messenger. Send them to Isolation Station Hastings. So that's it. Oh, Jill, I love your pictures. Oh, well. You can always do it later. You can rewatch the video and do another picture.
There we go. Exactly.
And send it in tomorrow. You won't be in trouble for late homework. Don't worry. Oh, I've enjoyed. I like it when I interview people I don't know very well because I find out all interesting things about them.
We'll have to meet up at Goat Ledge now. It's
in real life. It's open now, isn't it? It's reopened.
Kind of. Yeah, the baby goat isn't it?
Yeah. So I sometimes once in a week I go. The seats above, just on the top of the prom.
Yeah.
You can see people down and people walking along the top. You get double the viewings.
I love the prom. It's so good, isn't it?
Oh, I love it. Just sitting there.
I reckon we're going to have a brilliant summer down here.
Well, last summer was so gorgeous.
Yeah, and the summer before. But I just got a sneaky feeling this summer, because there's not many people, no flights and stuff. I just got a sneaky feeling this town could come into its own again.
The beach won't get packed, will it? I can't imagine such a thing.
Do not. There's always a spare bit to find where there's not
I
many.
know, it's lovely. Oh, well, thank you so much. I've enjoyed this so much.
Yeah, me too.
Thanks everyone for watching.
Thank you
And
for asking me. I'm most
thrilled.
grateful.
There's
And
a
it'll be on
couple
the
more.
same
There's a
time
couple
next
more.
week.
There's a couple more come in. Do you want me to put them
Oh,
up?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, hold
Yes,
on.
begging, yes. Oh, who's that by?
Oh, wow.
Nice.
That's Jane Davidson.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
me.
lovely
She's got me.
Jane.
She knows me well.
Oh, that's a beautiful picture.
I've never looked better. Love it.
That's Arno.
Oh,
Yeah,
very clever. Very clever. Oh, my
That's
goodness.
brilliant.
Who's that?
That's Carla Bohan.
Carla. I've never met Carla. I just know her from online. That's fab.
Oh, that's brilliant. Did that so quick as well.
Yeah.
Who's that one?
That's Georgette Boodram.
Georgette Boodram.
Yeah.
She used to be my manager in the job centre.
I love it.
Well done, Georgette. I'm so thrilled you're here. Who's that?
That's Claire Dunham. Hilary Claire.
That's brilliant.
Oh,
Claire.
lovely. She did a really lovely drawing of my mum that I still love when we did the art class in the pub.
I must admit, I did throw you all a curveball wearing a hat. Sorry
Who's
about
this one?
Jackie Hawkins.
Jackie, that's
lovely.
fab.
Oh,
Jackie and I
that's
used to be
lovely.
good together.
Because when it first started, we were always, that lovely
That's
as
brilliant.
well. Who's
That's
that?
Maggie Alderson.
Oh, Maggie, that's lovely.
Fab.
Those shoes in the background were such a good idea because they just look so good in the pictures. Oh, look. Oh, they're so
That's
good.
really good.
That's Wilson Cotton.
That's my brother.
Oh, is it?
My brother
what you
drew
said,
that.
That's really, you're like the Artful Dodger.
Exactly.
There's
Yeah,
more
he's got
coming
my
in. I'll put them all in the folder so it'll go live tomorrow.
Yeah,
for
we'll
all
put
that
them all
ones.
up tomorrow and we can comment on them.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much. I've enjoyed it so
No,
much.
thank you. It's been brilliant.
Keeps me
loved
going.
it.
Keeps me going. Something to do in the week.
No, I don't blame
Dan.
you.
Other people, right? If you're new this week, why don't you come next week as well? Because I'll come every week. So it's quite entertaining. Something to do, isn't it? Change from the telly.
Totally. You never know who you're going to meet.
I know you don't. Oh, so Susan Diamond, hope to see yours later. Oh, thanks everyone. It was lovely to see you all. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.